Hi, welcome to the Natural Sentient podcast. And today we have an amazing guest with us, Fride Vedde,
Yoo-hoo!
spiritual explorer from Norway. Welcome. It's great to see you.
Thank you, Slavka. It's great to see you again as well. You
It's
know
so
that
amazing.
you were actually the very first person who interviewed me for my first whale retreat.
Wow,
Hmm.
it's amazing. I remember. Yeah. And
And
so,
now you are the first one who interviews me for my retreat this year, which will be my fourth retreat. And and a couple of weeks ago, I said to the universe, how how is this information going to reach the people? And then a couple of days later, you contacted me. And I thought, okay, thank you, Slavka. Thank you, universe.
perfect
Oops.
timing in everything. I
Yep.
love that because we had a really a great conversation about your retreat. So, yes, I would love to actually. I would love you to share more details about your retreats, what you are doing, you know. So, can you please, briefly introduce yourself? What are you up to? And
Oh,
what's your mission?
oh my goodness. Now, that's like the worst question because my instant is like, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Well, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Whatever enters my consciousness, or what I feel like, I get this inspired by something or somebody, and then I start working on it. And right now I'm working on doing a spiritual explorer solstice tour to England, to go
Wow.
to yeah, to go to the world's the earth heart chakra.
Heart chakra,
Yes,
yes.
the those islands, they have been sun worshippers for thousands of years. The Stonehenge in Avery is 5,000 years old, and it was constructed for the sun. And then you had the Celtics, and you had the Druids, and you have the modern day Druids. So Britain has a long tradition of worshipping and honoring the sun. So I feel that the energies over there are very potent during solstice, and that's my favorite place to be during solstice. And this year I'm taking a group to experience that, and then we're going to continue down to Cornwall after. So it's in the footstep of magic. That's sort of the working title of the road movie. No, not the road movie, the road trip.
Road trip, yeah, that sounds
Yes,
very magical, actually.
yes.
And
Oh,
everything
it
which you
is.
do,
It's
because
very
you connect
magical.
with very powerful energies.
Yes, exactly. So we're gonna feel the ley lines. We're gonna track the ley lines, and yeah, we're gonna. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to begin. We're gonna explore the magic of England.
That's great. So you do good work as well, and
Yes,
part of it are basically the connection with Mother Earth. In general, with the genius Lotzi, with the energy of the place, with the nature, with everything, basically, and with animals as well.
yes, yes. Yes, I really love Mother Nature, Mother Earth. I feel very connected to Mother Earth. I think she's amazing, and we can connect to her consciousness. And for me, that is particularly easy, or not particularly easy. I mean, it started happening. It came through on these magical spots, these energetic hotspots, like that I like to call them. First time was in Moorea, and then later in Mount Shasta, and now basically I can connect with Mother Earth anywhere, and we can all do that. It's just, I find it easier. It's almost when you travel to these energetic hotspots, or these sacred sites, or these area on the planet that have these activated energies. it's almost, or it's not almost, I believe that it activates us as well. Not necessarily automatically, but especially if you tune in, it's just easier. It's like a shortcut.
Yeah, I believe that this is everything based on your soul calling. Like, where
Yeah.
is it calling you? That there is some frequency match for you, and there's like you're using also your spiritual gifts and superpowers as
And
well.
then they are enhanced that way. And I have realized that is the case because since I love traveling, and I love traveling my whole, since I was a kid, I always wanted to travel. And uh, and even before I knew what I was doing, I when I look in retrospect, I was drawn to places that I would have these mystical experiences, or just very pleasurable experiences. Not necessarily because this was even before I knew what I was doing, just traveling. I thought I was traveling, which is what I was. But yeah, I was activated, I guess you can say. And I think it's like that for maybe not everybody. We all are different, but for a lot of us, especially those who feel called to travel.
Oh yeah,
And
it's like yeah.
no,
I'm
no, no, no.
sorry.
No, 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 you go. I was going to ask you about Egypt, but I can ask you about Egypt. I'm dying to hear about your Egypt trip, but we can get to that later if that's okay.
Sure. I mean, that was also very powerful for me,
Yeah.
because I experienced a lot of downloads, even too much. Um, you know, uh, I was very high from it's a power plant, so I was vibrating. My whole body was vibrating. I was levitating, literally, and the Giza Plateau, gave me, pretty much a lot of downloads and some memory calls, and I enjoyed it because I felt there is like it's a home. I felt like I like it there,
Yeah.
but I experienced also some people that they said no, I hate it here. So it's either way.
Yeah.
So for me, it was very powerful actually experience, and that was like that when you go there with perfect timing, when your soul is guiding you, it's really time to go there. So
Yes.
I follow that call, and I really enjoy that. However, despite of the and some another, how is the culture, how are the people, energy is so high there that you or there are always like two the ways how it affects people around. So they either act more positively because it lifts them up, raise their vibration, or vice versa. So it supports more their greediness and more, their lower vibrations. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was really interesting to observe,
Yeah. I
like
can imagine. Mm-hmm.
the stuff going on there on the energetic level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I
So
was there
actually,
in,
you were there as well.
yes, but way back in 2003. I was there in 2003 with my son because his biggest dream was to see the pyramids since he was 10 years old. So we went there
Hmm.
when I think he was 16 at the time. And it was really interesting because that time it was one of those examples that I mean, I was spiritual, but I had no idea about grid work or tuning into these kind of energies or anything like that. So we just went there, and both of us, we absolutely loved Cairo. We absolutely loved Egypt. It was just like riding on this wave. Right? All the people were so nice to us. I had heard also that it was very difficult country to travel in, and that people are so and this and that. And some people find that they are very, you know, um, whatever they find them to be. But we met really nice people, and we would go into the old parts and have tea with the strangers, and we just had a wonderful time.
Yeah,
And I
it's a
wanted to go
beautiful
back there
thing.
and spend like half a year or something, but I never did. But I really enjoyed Cairo. But I have heard, I mean, I know people that have gone there now and who are very taken back by the poverty, and of course it was very poor. And I've traveled in India, so I've seen more poverty than I saw in Egypt. But still, it is difficult to witness poverty. But then I didn't recall it the way they described it. So then I did a little Google search, and then I realized that the poverty in Cairo has maybe doubled since 2004, and that really breaks my heart to know.
Yeah.
Because it was really poor
despite
then. But then if it's like twice as poor now, I'm not even sure if I want to go back, because then I think I might be affected too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the negative aspect of going there, because you might meet some people asking actually for your support, which like they think about you, like about the tourists in general, that they are wealthy, and they are not like, they ask about, like, please, tip everywhere. I understand that, because they take advantage of it. And yes, that's another aspect of just going there and witnessing pyramids, and on the other side, um, seeing the poverty, and these people on the streets. So
But
I understand.
to change, because that is really sad, and just even talking about it sort of lowers the vibration right now. And I don't think, I mean, it doesn't really help them, and it doesn't help us for us to discuss this right now, because that's not why we're together. But I just want to acknowledge that it's easy to sort of bypass, and it's easy to overlook, and it's easy. I mean, we live very privileged lives who are able to travel like we do, and not everybody is privileged like that. Even if we travel on the shoestring, we are still very privileged, it's just a fact of life. But what I
Yes,
also
I think
thought was,
so.
what I thought was fascinating when I discovered that you went to Egypt the same year that I held my first retreat, my first swim with the whale retreats in Moorea, is that are you familiar with Grunwald Melchizedek, the esoteric teacher, the American,
Yes,
who
sounds
writes about
familiar.
sacred geometry? So he, according to him, there's a unity consciousness grid, like an energy grid that connects all the sacred sites in the world, and all the sacred sites amplify this grid, and you can tune into this grid. And the feminine, the divine feminine, or the feminine part of that unity consciousness grid, goes down in Moorea. So it's like the divine feminine, or the feminine part of that unity consciousness grid. And then if you
Wow.
go
So,
straight through the
mhm.
earth, you come out half a mile from the pyramids of Giza, which are the masculine counterpart of the unity consciousness grid. So I just thought that
Mhm.
was so fascinating when I saw that you were in
It is
Egypt,
very fascinating. It is very
isn't it?
fascinating. Let's say that Moorea is French Polynesia island.
Yes, it's an island next to Tahiti. It's about 35 minutes from Tahiti in French Polynesia,
Wow.
in
Thank you for
in the
sharing.
Pacific.
Yes,
So
in
it's
the
about
Pacific
5 hours
Ocean.
geographically, to make it to visualize it. It's about 5 hours, well, 4.5 or 5 hours plane ride from New Zealand going on towards the sea, and then it's 8.5 hours going from Los Angeles or San Francisco towards the sea, and you get to Tahiti.
So please tell us, how did it go the first retreat? Because today, like this year, it's going to be 4 retreats.
Yes, my
So
fourth retreat.
how did it start actually? How it actually evolved up to this year? If you can share.
Oh my goodness. What so well, I think the first time I did the retreat, it was just, I'm exhausted if I'm going to talk about that, because I've talked about that so often. There are other interviews. It's going to take the whole interview to talk about that. But I basically received the download, and I had absolutely no intention of doing anything like that. And it just came down to me in my, like, dropped into my head that I was going to do this in half an hour, in half a year, to do a whale retreat in Moorea after I had myself swum with the whales half a year before. And I became euphoric and terrified at the same time. So I was like laughing and crying and laughing and crying. But then I couldn't sleep. It was like 11:30 at night. So I just started doing research, and by 6 in the morning, 5:30, I had the whole layout. I had the book. I had the bungalows and the boat trips, and I basically had the overview. And then I called a few friends, because that's how I thought about it. Like, I thought about some friends, spiritual friends around the world that I thought would really enjoy this. So that's what I had in mind. So I called them, and 3 of them sort of signed up. And I thought, oh, this is great. And now I need to send them some information. And then I couldn't even get pictures into a Word document. Like, I'm so bad technically. So I had it in my head, kind of, and I just didn't know what to do. And then in the spiritual group that you were part of as well, there was an American IT guy from Silicon Valley, Blake McNeil, who had done some coaching education, and he had the idea that he could bridge. He had noticed that spiritual people are not very technical often. So he thought he could help spiritual people make their websites. Either he could do it for them, or he could guide them to learn how to make websites. So he needed a guinea pig or two.
Great.
And I was like, me, I need a website. I have no idea what to do. So I had like once a week an hour consultation with Blake for, I think, 2 or 3 months. And then I learned how to make a website. So I made a website. And after that, I was exhausted. And nothing happened, because now I thought, okay, now the information gets out there, but it's not how it works. The algorithms, even if you search my name and the retreat, it didn't even come up on Google because it has to have some interaction. And and then I was kind of exhausted, but basically I went into this deep meditation. And I had been doing channeling, like automatic writing with the whales throughout the process, how to do this. And basically what they had said was that my most important role was to feel the retreat into being. So then I went into meditation, and I connected with that original euphoria and the inspiration to make the retreat. And then when I felt that, I sort of like put the whole retreat I put it into my womb to create it. And then I put it to the universe. I said, okay, now it's your turn. What the next step? And then a friend, Emily Gosh Harris, who does the Soul Collective podcast or something. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's Soul Collective postcard. So she left me a message when I woke up the next day, like, Fride, how's your retreat going? How's your website going? Can I help in any way? I would love, if you want to be a guest on my podcast. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then you reached out, and then you interviewed me before she did. So then the both of you, I don't know exactly. I think yours came out first. And then she was the one who first invited me, and yours were the one who was released first. And then the both of you, and then, people started coming, and then it was just a roller coaster of, it was very intense, but very fascinating how it all came to be. And even in the last couple of weeks, one participant she couldn't come. And then within a few hours, somebody else, signed up. They sent me out of the blue this young Slovenian couple. Say, oh, can you help us? We want to go on a honeymoon to Moorea. Can you please help us? And I was like, oh, I think it's your lucky day. I think you're meant to be there, because 2 hours ago, a participant, she bailed. And I had 3 people on the waiting list, and I had sent them an email, and they hadn't replied. So I said, the room is yours. And then 15 minutes after, one of those on the waiting list said, oh, yeah, fantastic, I'm coming. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Awesome.
But I think they are meant to come now because, the way it happened, she was like, yeah, I get it. It's true. And they were
So,
absolutely amazing. So,
so
and the
what's
retreat
like the
was,
maximum of the people when you mentioned this, that there is a waiting list? What's like the maximum? How many
yeah.
people is
Actually,
in the group?
yeah. So it was fantastic. And the and everybody had this very magical reasons for being there, whether they had heard an interview or a podcast, or they had found the website by themselves online, or they had seen somebody's Facebook post, and they clicked the site and just started crying, or they heard an interview and they started crying. Like, they just knew they had to be there. It was fascinating. It was fantastic to hear all the stories. People really, yeah, it felt really like it was meant to be.
Absolutely, it's meant to be for the people. That they really like feel being called to go there because it's a very
Yes,
specific place.
yes,
I
yes.
put the website. It's
Oh, thank you.
spiritualexplorer.no as in Norway.
Thank you. Yes, it is. Yes, NO is Norway. Yes, and what was
For
really
the
special about,
audience.
yeah, thank you so much. Maururu in Tahitian. And what was really special about that first year was that a couple of the people that came really had actually had water fright. Um, and one person said to me, I don't know what got into me. She came from Norway. I don't know what got into me, Frida. How could I even think about going on the other across the other side of the planet to swim with whales when I don't even dare to jump into a swimming pool, And yeah, but it was a very special retreat, and I think people were healing past lives drowning, and everybody in the end swam with the whales. Everybody, even the one person who was so afraid to be in the water that she was okay if she could feel the sand under her feet and she didn't get water in her mouth. Otherwise, it wasn't happening. Of course, you cannot swim with whales without getting water in your mouth or not being willing to let go the feet on the sand. But she made it in the end, and she had an amazing, so beautiful. It felt like the whales, that was like the very, 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 very last swim, and she made it. And the whales, it was a mama and a baby and escort, a male, and they were sleeping, and they formed this triangle, it felt like a holy trinity, and it was just so
Yes.
beautiful. They were like that, and then slowly, because they only sleep with half the brain, because they have to come up to breathe, the baby every 5 minutes, and the grown-ups every 25 minutes. So they were lying like this, and then slowly one went up to breathe, and then the second, and then the third. It was just so magical. And I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
when that
Love it.
happened, I thought, they're doing this for you, honey. You deserve it. The courage you have shown to do this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They did it for you. It's really a deep healing
Yeah.
through them.
Yes. Yes.
And I can
Yes.
pretty much feel that energy at the essence of the cetaceans of the whales from you. I can sweet that. I can feel that.
I didn't hear you.
So
You got a little. What did you say?
that you have really great essence of these whales, cetaceans in general. I can feel it. That
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, they are just incredible. It's nothing that, I think there's nothing that can prepare you for what it feels like to swim with whales when you are there in their element and next to them. I mean, they're so massive for one, so you really have to get out of your comfort zone. But at the same time, they're gentle giants, and you can just feel the wisdom, and it's almost as if they see through you. And you look at the eye of a whale, which is really small, it looks like, on the whale, because the whale is, comparatively, but when you're in the water with the whale, you realize that the whale is actually, the eye is quite big. It's because the whale is so big that it looks like it's small, but it is quite big. And it just, when it looks at you, it's like staring into, yeah, I think you can imagine. I don't have words for it.
It's a majestic being, you know, very
Yes,
majestic. It's
yes,
like I have a huge respect to them.
yes. And where we're staying in the bungalows, there are whales passing. And they
Mhm.
tend to pass when you have these special conversation, and it's like, oh, there's a whale, thank you for the confirmation.
Yes. So when you said you can channel actually messages from them, from whales, do you
Yeah,
do that when you are at the sea, or you can do it also where you are, like from your
yeah,
home now?
yeah. No, but in writing, yeah.
Is in a written form. Yeah.
Yeah, automatic writing. Yeah, you don't need to
Hmm.
go anywhere. I mean, yeah, you can do that. The way you meditate, you don't need to go anywhere to meditate. You can just do it wherever you are.
Yeah, I was just like thinking if you can channel the also the light language, for example. You know,
No,
light language. Hmm.
no, I can't.
It's
I
coming
didn't even
anyway.
try. What?
It will come later on eventually, you know.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah.
So yeah, hi John. Jason is here. So yeah, we have now connected. John from Portugal,
Oh,
Jason from US. So yeah,
they have whales in
great.
Portugal. Has he seen them in Portugal?
Yeah, João or John. Yes, you have Wales.
Yeah.
He lives in Porto, and
Ah,
we talked
okay.
yesterday about UFOs and the like orbs and cryptids, UFO sightings.
In
So that's
Portugal, in
why,
Porto, or
yes, in
ah, okay.
Portugal in general, in different parts. So
Uh-huh.
how is it in Norway?
Well, we have
Like
it's
which kind of beings do you notice there?
but we have actually. I was speaking with a friend yesterday who has a house, who used to live close to a place called Hessdalen. It's a valley further up north, and where people come from all over the world to see UFO sightings, and that's one of the reasons she moved there. But once she moved there, she basically never went to see the UFOs. It's almost like when you're there, you're sort of like, yeah, it's normal. And I have relatives who has lived up there also, who told me that they had seen UFOs many years ago. um, but I
Hmm.
haven't seen UFOs there. I've been UFO hunting in South America, in Chile, in my 20s, and that was very
Hmm.
fascinating. And then I met a lot of people who had witnessed, who had met extraterrestrials. I think, and also, I mean, yeah, abductions and stuff. Mm.
Okay, so Catherine says, my late husband and I honeymooned on Moorea. Wow.
Yes, it's the perfect honeymoon place. It's actually a popular honeymoon place. And I've had 3 retreats, and on 2 of them, I had a honeymoon couple. It's a fantastic place to have a honeymoon. I imagine they enjoyed it. Did they enjoy it?
I'm sure that, yeah, I think it's impossible not to enjoy.
It's a very special island. It has very strong energies, and I believe it's a portal. And I had no idea about that when I went there the first time, but I had some incredible experiences with Mother Earth, and I also connected with ancestors, Polynesian ancestors or Lemurians. I'm not sure, but they came to me, and the whales were the bridge actually between us, because I was really, the first time I swam with the whales, when we got back on the boat, I was just reliving. I was sitting in front of the boat and people were talking behind me, but I just wanted to relive the moment of connecting with the whales. And I was like crying. I was just feeling all, my heart getting activated, and all of a sudden I had these 3 appearances from my inner vision in front of me, just Polynesian looking fishermen with spears and long black hair. And I knew they were my relatives, my ancestors, whether they're Polynesian or Lemurians, I don't know. But it definitely feels connected to Lemuria. And also one of the participants, we went to a sacred temple ground, and he had a experience of himself in this council, like Lemurian council. And when he talked about that the next day when we were on the boat, because the boat is my happy place, I love being at sea. So I was sort of like just tuning into his experience. And then I felt this incredibly, it was like I myself was transported this, and I saw him, and I felt in awe of him, because he wasn't King Solomon, but had that kind of wisdom. He was just very wise. And so I was like teared up, and I just wanted to do like this. When I told him about it, I turned to him and I told him I did like this. He didn't know what I was talking about. But it was very powerful. And then I told a psychic friend of mine later, and she's like, well, that was not a vision. You were there, so it was a memory, activating a memory. And I think this is often what happens when you are in these places, when you get together. And that's what the whales said too, is that when you get together, some of you are uniting, and some of you are reuniting from previous lifetimes.
Yes, I feel that was a memory recovery or memory recall from your past. Because that there is like a place with indigenous energy, with fully ancestral.
Very strong ancestral. In fact, I was meditating just a couple of weeks ago together with Marianne Morris, and she has I'm so bad with name, another soul collective group. So we were meditating together, and then I just felt the ancestors of Moorea. It was almost like being hit from the back. It came in so forcefully, with the urgency of sort of almost saving Moorea, because it's becoming very touristic. That the French have changed the laws and anyone can buy the land. It used to be only Tahitians, so it's really changing very quickly. And they came in with this urgency, and almost, I don't know, just strengthening the energies, and just sort of envisioning the young, because you have some beautiful young indigenous, the young people in Moorea who are really sort of wanting to get back to the roots and getting back the sovereignty of the land. And it's so important what they do, and sort of strengthening that energy. So the ancestors are very strong there. It's a very ancestral culture as well, in the sense that the people that live there, they're very connected to the land, and all the families have land. And I mean, the larger collective family, not just, the unique, it's like grandmothers and grandfathers and uncle and aunts and cousins.
Yes.
They all they own this land, and it goes from the sea up to the mountain. That's how it's divided. And when children are born, when their babies are born, they bury the placenta. They used to bury it in the Marae, the temple ground, but sometimes now they buried it. They bury it in the garden, and then they plant a tree. And that means that you have all these different trees from your siblings and your parents, or your father or your mother, depending where you live, and then your grandparents and your aunties and your uncles. They all have their trees there. And I think that's so beautiful, because this goes back hundreds of years, that they have these planted trees from the ancestors. So they're keeping it alive, the tradition and the memory as well.
It's fascinating tradition, because it connects directly with their DNA.
Yes.
With the placenta.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So they're very connected with the land. And sometimes, I think that goes for all of us, that sometimes we when we live something, we just take it for granted. Like I did 2 retreats last year, and between them I was staying with a local friend, and she's amazing, and she's a organic farmer, and I just love her to pieces. The whole family, it's like my Tahitian soul family. And she would be laughing. She told her friends, you know, like, because I would tell her that I'm connected with Mother Earth or whatever, and she's like, this foreigner come here, and she's like this and that, and we're just living here, whatever. So, but it's sometimes you just take for granted. It's like me, people, we were talking with my friend yesterday about the UFO sightings, you know, that I went to Chile to go see UFOs, and people come from Chile to Norway to see UFOs. But I can't be bothered to travel like 4 hours to see UFOs in Norway if I can go to the other side of the world. That's much more exotic, you know. It's ridiculous, but that's how it is. Sometimes we just take things for granted. And actually,
Yes.
my Tahitian, my friend, she came to visit with her daughter in February, and they wanted to experience winter, and so we took them to a lake that has frozen. It was a frozen lake, so they walked on ice for the first time in their life, and they were so fascinated. It was so exotic. They were down on their knees, like all in four, and they were like knocking on the ice, and they're like, oh my, and this is water all the way, like ice all the way. There's a lake under, there's like all the way, and there's like bubbles, and it's so, they were so surprised that the ice is so hard, that the ice is harder than the ground. And I've never thought about that, because it's just, of course, the ice is harder than ground, but you know, for them,
Yeah. But
you know
if
what I
it was
mean?
their first experience, you know, it's
Yes,
like the first time,
exactly.
and you just, if you come from a different part of the world.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
there are some ridiculous things. Uh, yeah, people take things for granted,
Yeah, we do.
you
We
know,
do. We do.
especially when you don't know what's the real value of what you have.
Yes. And often we don't know that. But I think more and more, I hope, and I think that the Polynesians are seeing the value. They're not taking it for granted, and I hope they're going to take it back, the land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So please tell us, how are the Polynesians, the people that live there in Moorea and in like Tahiti, French Polynesia?
They are so friendly. They're very friendly, and they're very. I went to the local church a few times, uh, just to experience what that would be like. And it's so different. Even if it's a Protestant church, it's so different than Northern Europe. Because if you think about the psalms and the songs of the Protestants, it's very like solemn, na 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 na, like it's very serious, you know. And there, it's all ukulele and drums and guitars, and people are singing, and it's like all this joy, and it's like a completely different vibe. And I think that says so much, because the vibe is so differently. And they're very welcoming. Welcoming in the sense that if you come with good intentions, and if you behave nicely, they are very nice. I mean, they're very generous and very hospitable.
Mhm. I believe you, because it's a different mentality. Those people are very much connected with the land where they live, and they actually uh, they they honor their ancestors. They honor the land, the traditions. So it's different manners that we have in this so-called modern world, outer world.
Yeah, and I think, for speaking for myself, I feel that I can relate to that, because my ancestors and my family, I come from a family of fishermen and farmers myself, from the Norwegian fjords. So then naturally they were very connected to the land. Although I didn't grow up on a farm myself, my parents both did, and I spent a lot of time there as a child. And so my mother's father taught me about the trees and the love of he planted a forest, and he loved trees, and he sort of instilled that in me. And on my father's side especially, they loved the sea, and I absolutely got that from them, from my grandfather and my father and my uncle. especially. And I even went back last summer to this farm that my father is from, which had been in family since 1859, but no longer. And I walked down to the sea, and I walked along the sea to the boathouse, and I sat down to meditate. And then I felt at one point, I just started feeling I felt the land there around the boathouse and the land. I felt it in my DNA. I mean, it sounds really weird, but that's, I really felt it in my DNA, and it was so amazing. It was just so. I just felt how, like, the house. I love the house, but it really doesn't matter because it's the land, and that's in the DNA. You just can't take it away from somebody. What's in your DNA, whether you know it or not, it's in your DNA. Yeah.
Yes, it's deeply rooted in your DNA, with your memory. So, and that anyone can take it away.
Yeah, yeah. And I felt, especially my grandfather, I felt him in the sea when I was swimming with dolphins in Croatia and also in Moorea. There in Moorea, I sort of invited him and my father in, so they could sort of see through my eyes if they wanted to, because when I came to Moorea the first time, I realized that I didn't know that sea. And before I came to Moorea, the sea was just the sea for me. And although I had been to Spain and I'd been to other places in the world, but the Atlantic and yes, the sea by the fjords is different than the sea in the north of Norway, which is different from the sea in the south of Norway, which is different from the sea in Spain, but it's still sort of the same sea. But when I came to the other side of the world, the Pacific, especially on that side, I just felt that the sea had a completely different energy, and it was just so foreign. I didn't know the sea, and it was so fascinating. Because I realized that, the sea has consciousness, right? I had connected with the sea consciousness before, but it's not just one consciousness. It has sort of different consciousnesses, and that was a different sea consciousness. Now, when I go back, I know that sea too. I don't have that feeling anymore, but just the first time, it's fascinating.
Yes, actually, I haven't been there on that side of the world in the Pacific Sea.
It's so different.
Yes, even when you talk about that, I feel that energy as you talk about that, as you describe it.
The same as the stars in the sky are completely different as well. It's a different. It's really very different. It's fascinating.
You completely embody that energy of the dolphins and whales, which is about playfulness, and that's wisdom and harmony. You radiate these.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. There was a woman who said that. I was talking to. I have like this spiritual Scandinavian group, and we were talking today, and my connection with internet was bad. I hope it's good today because it wasn't earlier today. So I just had the picture of it and just used the sound. And then she said, "You look like a dolphin." On that picture, you have a dolphin energy, and that picture was taken when I was swimming with dolphins in Croatia.
Yes, you have that energy. Dolphins and whales. I feel like I don't want to separate them because you connected with all of them. I call them cetaceans. So,
Yeah.
And that's pretty much for me obvious.
Thank you. Well, I take that. I mean, I love them, so that's for me a great honor to be even to. I don't feel it myself. I'm just me. You know what I mean? But for me, the dolphins, they have this very high frequency joy. It's like the highest joy, and the whales, they
that's
have
what you transmit. That's what you actually pass to the others. This high frequency joy.
Oh, thank you. And then the whales, they have the deepest wisdom. They are the wisdom keepers. I believe that. Well, that's what I've been shown, that they are the wisdom keepers, the keepers of the Akashic records, and they are this huge cosmic whale who sort of keeps it all together. This knowledge, yeah.
Yes, they are wisdom keepers and record keepers. Hmm.
And one fun thing that happened last year in Moorea, I thought, because the telepathy is so much, so much about telepathy these days, right? So there was a moment where I
Yes.
thought we were with a mama and her baby, and then the mama goes down to relax, and the baby sort of goes up and down because the mama can stay below for 25 minutes, and the baby has to come up every 5 minutes. And it was a playful baby. And then I thought, let me see if I can connect with the baby. So I just looked at the baby and I said, what did I say now? I think I said something like in my mind, eh? I didn't speak underwater. I said something along the lines of, "You are so beautiful. I love you. You want to connect?" Something like this. I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere. So somebody
So
can arrest me with this.
beautiful.
And I said that, and then the whale came towards me. The baby came towards me, and then I was lying like this, and he came like this, and then he went sort of parallel, so our faces went the same way. So he was lying parallel, and I was just like looking at him, and I was telling him how beautiful he was, and how much I love him. And I was like, oh, I was so in awe because it felt like it worked. We connected. And then the whale guide was calling me in the back, and somebody filmed it, but on film they used a wide angle shot, so it looks like it's much more distance between us than what it felt like and what it really was, because other people were witnessing it. And so, but then when the whale guy started shouting and Fride, Fride, come back, then he just went down. He sort of broke that the spell, and he just went back down to his mommy. And I was a bit disappointed, but then I came back. But it was really fascinating how it works. How you can actually connect with them. I know you can connect with them, but it was just so fantastic to actually do it
Oh,
and
lovely.
experience it.
And yeah, lovely. And the best thing is, the exchanging, the, the, the unconditional love, towards each other, that connection. Ooh, I'm feeling high on this
Yeah, and
already.
that and that is what now I've been out. I attended my first retreat in Moorea was with Jan Lemuria. It was amazing, and it's like anyone want to go on a retreat with Jan Lemuria, I highly recommend him. He's wonderful. And then I've done 3 myself, so I've been on 4 whale retreats in Moorea, and all the whale retreats have been so different. And I remember Jan was saying that it's also about the vibration of the people. Like when we are high vibing, we are more easily connecting with the whales. Like you have to match their energy, sort of, right? And one of the retreats we had last year, we had a honeymoon couple, and they were just, especially him, he was just like always super super positive. They were very positive, and they were just so high vibing, and they brought this joy to the boat. And then I myself also, I just become like a little girl sometimes on the boat, because I really love being on the boat. And then we invited a local friend, the son of the woman who came to visit, the son of the woman I stayed with afterwards. So I invited, because we had space on the boat, so I invited him along because he had never swum with the whales. So, and he's high vibing, naturally he's an islander. And then the captain and the whale guide, they are high vibing, and especially when they get a local, the 3 of them, they were connecting. Everybody was having a great time. And we just had the most amazing whale sightings because and I believe it's because we were high vibing. We were just all in the flow, and we were sort of like really matching the
Yes,
energy, the
you
frequency.
were you were matching, yeah, with your
Exactly. And
frequency.
the first time we got out of the boat to swim with the whales, we stayed with the whales for 2 hours in the water without getting up. I've never experienced that. It was amazing. It was incredible.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So, would you like to invite our audience for your retreat this year?
Oh yeah,
Let's do
absolutely.
that.
If they feel called, please come. It's incredible. It's incredible to swim with the whales. and we might see dolphins. Last year we came on this, I think it was more than 30 dolphins that we surfed with dolphins on the boat. And our captain is the best. He's a local. He's very in tune with the whales and the sea, and our whale guide is amazing. He's from Bora Bora, the one we had last year. I'm hoping he's still there. If he's there, we'll have him again. And he loves to play with it. You know, he invites the babies or the whales to play with him, and he's amazing. And also then you have Moorea, the island, which is just incredible. It's so magical by itself. And we are staying in these really beautiful bungalows on a secluded beach. So we have, like, every morning I like to go out and send healing into the ocean and connect. And it was so fascinating because it's right by the corals, our a little beach. It's not ours, it's a public beach, but it's almost nobody there. So it just feels like it's just maybe a fisherman or somebody walking their dog. So it feels like it's our beach. So I like to stand there in the morning and greet the sunrise and then send healing to Mother Earth and the sea. And every morning, it's almost as if I would get new. I mean, one day a little octopus came and it was right in front of me, and another a little baby shark, because you have these very harmless sharks that we will swim with in the lagoon. They're not dangerous. So a baby, one of those there that are like half a meter maybe, was swimming there, or a little tiny school of fish. Like every day there was something new that felt as if nature is sort of showing gratitude for the gratitude that you showed nature.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I just said it's going to be from August 25th to September 3. So it's like 10
Yes.
days. 10 days
Yes.
retreat.
Yes. And I think it's going to be my last one.
Why?
In Moorea. Many reasons, but it feels like I thought actually I wasn't going to do it this year. I thought I was going to do the last one next year, but then the signs came, synchronicities showing me that I'm going to do it this year. But well, it's becoming more of a touristic industry, and I don't want to support that. It has to do with the respect of the whales and the respect of the island, and I find that part difficult. And I think that what we do in many ways it's a positive contribution, because we come there with with gratitude and appreciation and wanting to and we behave very nicely. But still, I still, I think it just feels like I will be doing other journeys. Like I went to after the first retreat, I took part of the group. We went to Mount Shasta, and this year I'm going to continue from Moorea. I want to go to Luri Rock, so I'm going to probably do a small spiritual explorer road trip. That one I like to do. What I'm discovering is that one of my things seems to be to make small group journeys of people who are wanting to explore the energies of the land and sort of, do grid work and get activated, go to sacred sites and get activated and activate. I believe when we get activated, we also leave activations for the earth. So
yes,
I'm still doing the same. I'm still just following the breadcrumbs. Like I'm doing what I feel I'm supposed to be doing when it happens. So that's why I really cannot tell very far in advance, because life is what happens while you're busy making other plans, like John Lennon said. But it does feel that, I mean, I will go back to Moorea for sure. Like almost, I feel so connected to this island and to Tahiti, and I cannot imagine not ever going back. But I'm not sure I will do the whale retreats. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I understand your reasons. That's actually, you mentioned other places. Where would you like to do the retreats instead? So you mentioned another destinations.
I don't know. Like now, I want to go to Rock because I've never been to Rock, and it's calling me. I feel, and it feels like you know that the 80s game, the Pokemon, where there's like a
Yeah,
computer
Pokemon.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like that. You go like through the labyrinth, and then you're like ding 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 ding, ding, and you get a gift, and then you keep going, and like ding 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 ding, and you get a gift. So it's a little bit like that. Like I feel drawn to go to sacred sites because it feels like I get activated new parts of me and new gifts and then I also leave energies behind. And then of course now it's
Yes.
easier to connect with Mount Shasta, the energies, and with Telos, the Lemurian crystal city inside Mount Shasta, and it's easier to connect to these places that I've been to. And
Yes.
now I'm doing I think I mentioned that in the beginning. I'm planning a trip to England for solstice, and also, yeah, to go to Tintagel, to the cave of Merlin, and the birthplace of
Oh, yeah,
Arthur,
there's,
and in
yeah,
Cornwall, and to
Cave of
another stone
Merlin.
circle down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to be like a road trip for people that are like me, or who resonate with these kind of journeys.
Yeah. I
And
mean, that
I personally,
it's
I just absolutely
great.
love Glastonbury and Avery and Stonehenge, and I've been there a few times, and every time I just especially Avery, it's like ah, and every time I go there, I experience new highs, you know, new activations. Yeah, and I'd love to share that with others.
Yeah, that would be actually great to meet you one day in person.
Well, maybe next year. I think this one might be a Norwegian one, and then if it goes well, maybe I'll do an English speaking one next year, and then you can come. Or if you want to come now, maybe it has to be an English speaking one.
Mhm. Well, Norwegian, I could try, I can always learn.
Well, the good thing about Norwegians is that they speak English,
Yeah.
so it's not a problem.
It's really important. Like you go by example because it's like follow your inner guidance. Your soul is guiding this to go to particular places exactly for these activations, for these downloads, and for the grid work because we have certain abilities. You can heal. You are being healed. So,
Yes.
like Mother Earth is really calling us all over to certain places, to ancient sites, and not only to the ancient sites to do the work. So I just love when you share this because it's so genuine and so honest and loving energy of you.
Thank you.
You know that
Thank you.
you do it from heart.
Yeah, that's true. I do. And when we came to Manchester, that after my first retreat, because after my first retreat, it was truly initiation, Savka. I was exhausted. And I felt like I felt like I had not succeeded, like because I think my intentions and my expectations on myself, like nothing of that. So I was really hard on myself, and when I
Mhm.
came to Manchester, I woke up the first night, and I had a view of Manchester from my window, from the bed, although it was dark, so I couldn't see it, but I knew it was there. And then I woke up at 1:30, and I felt this incredible loving gratitude from Mother Earth, and like a thankfulness for what we did in Moorea. Um, and then I just started crying, and then I felt the earth started to shake, and I thought, oh, we're gonna have an earthquake. And then I wasn't afraid. I just thought, oh well, we're supposed to be here. If there's an earthquake, then either I'm gonna experience an earthquake or I'm gonna die. But it's okay. I'm meant to be here. I was like, I had no fear. But it was just the ground was doing like this, and so I thought it was the beginning of an earthquake, but it wasn't. It just stopped, and then it felt as if it was Mother Earth confirming the gratitude. But I don't know if it was, but that's what it felt like. And I think that's what it boils down to, essentially. What do we know? We feel and we experience, and we navigate our lives that way. That gives meaning to our lives.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
But it felt really real. And I can connect with that love anytime. And it was the same
Mhm.
love that I felt in Moorea when I first connected with Mother Earth, and felt that incredible, unconditional love that Mother Earth has for us. That there's nothing we can do that changes that. And beneath all the pain and the pollution and the wars and all that goes on, under that, the the ground is sacred, and it's pure and it's pristine.
Absolutely. You know, I just want to say thank you for helping to restore this ancestral grit, for the restoring the original energy, you know. And
Actually, I can't hear you because it's a little bit. What did you
yes,
say? Sorry.
like thank you for helping to restore this ancestral energy, you know, the ancestral grid lines, the original energy before it was hijacked. So I can see that you do really great contribution to the Mother Earth, to the humanity.
Well, I don't know about that. I just like to keep it simple. I really am very simple. I don't do anything complicated. I don't do any rituals, anything that. I just bring in the light. I just bring in the
It,
light and I send it down. That's all I do, basically. Yeah.
it's a lot of light.
And everybody can do that. I believe everybody can do that. It's an intention.
Absolutely. So would you like to say something else before we actually finish?
Well, I think I would like to repeat that this is something we can all do, and Mother Earth really needs our healing and really needs our love. And even just when we feel love, when we feel joy in our own lives, we are actually healing, because we are with when we feel joy, when we feel love, no matter what it's about, then we project that energy out, and so we automatically help heal the earth and our surroundings by raising our vibrations when we feel good. So if we just focus on feeling good when we can, and I'm not trying to bypass when we are sad or we experience pain or fear and all that. I'm not saying, to sort of put it down, because then it's going to bottle up. Just cry it, get it out, cry it out, feel it, scream into a pillow, run around the house, whatever you need to do. And then when you release that, get back to your joy, find your joy again. And if we can just find our joy and our love, um, if you just imagine the whole world doing that, a lot would actually change. If we didn't focus on, I think a lot of the media is focusing on our and triggering our fear, which is very deep rooted in all of us. And when we are focusing on our fear, we are actually assisting those fearful energies, even just talking about it. Again, sometimes you do need to talk about it. But I mean, what I mean is that if you try to have your general state of being as joyful and loveful as possible, it serves ourselves and the rest of humanity and the earth, Mother Earth.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That was powerful and beautiful. Very inspiring and empowering. So yeah, thank you, Frida.
Well, thank you, Savka, once again. And we didn't
Thank you
speak
so
about the.
much.
I want to hear about. I want to hear about Egypt. Maybe we have to connect outside of this.
You know, at least we have a reason to schedule another live together. You know, we can, when you're free, we can actually do follow up.
Sounds
What,
wonderful. Yes, yes, yes.
what do you think? So I suggest this solution because today I wanted really to highlight you know, the spirit of your spiritual explorer retreats. They are about and to invite people who are being called that someone may be called and want to join. So that
That would
was
be
like my
amazing.
aim, and I love to share, you know, this vibe, this energy of the dolphins and whales. So as we speak, like we also share these codes with others because you are encoded with this beautiful energy of the dolphins and whales through your powerful connection. Yeah,
Thank you.
because it's about sharing the codes with others, and I'm pretty much feel that as well. So thank you very, very much. You know, I'm
Thank
really
you.
honored to
Oh, thank
always
you.
to have you on.
Oh my God, I'm honored to be here because you're really good in, bringing out whatever you feel that is brought out. That's thanks to you. You bring a safe space, and thank you.
Thank you. It's mutual stuff. So Frida's website is spiritualexplorer.no. So check it out. I also You have also your YouTube channel, which is Spiritual Explorer QT. So also subscribe to Frida's channel. And yes, today we've been with Fride. I will just say that you are educator, writer, mother, facilitator, and of course, spiritual explorer that loves to inspire and uplift, you know, people to find and pursue their passions and fiercely believes in the power of following your heart. That's absolutely, you know, what you embodied. So it's beautiful, and I'm really grateful that we could connect today.
Thank you so much, Slavka. I really appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining this live and also watching on replay. And thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting the channel. And see you next time. Much love. Take care. Bye, Frida. Thank you. Love you.
Bye.
Mm.
Love you.